Hey Virgo, welcome to your villain era reading, where we'll take a peek at big changes that you are making in your life and how it's going to turn out for you. So let's start first by pulling a couple of oracle cards to see what energy is surrounding this reading. And the first card that we have out for you is peace. Let's pull another and see what other energies are surrounding my Virgo collective for their villain era reading. And the second card that came out for you is Guinevere, true love. The romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. All right, Virgos. So what I just heard is a rock and a hard place. So it feels as though for a lot of you, you are in a place of like just unapologetically trying to preserve your peace. It feels like this has been a sort of hard fought mission. And I think in order to do that for a lot of my Virgos out there, that you have sort of cut yourself off, that you've detached to a certain extent from other people, especially when it comes to romantic endeavors. It's almost like, you know what? I have dealt with this before. I am not doing it again under any circumstances. The door is officially closed to love. And it's almost as if the relationships that you have sort of built are very sort of surface level. And it's not because you don't like people. It's not because you're not interested in people. It feels like it's a matter of self-preservation, where it's like, if I just sort of keep things up here, then I don't have to worry about being hurt. I don't have to worry about being disappointed. My expectations are low, so my peace is maintained, right? I don't get invested enough to be bothered by people. However, it feels though on the flip side is that there's pieces of you that every so often it pops up and it's like, it would be nice. It would be nice. And it's almost a sense that now that you have figured out how to maintain and protect your peace, you might be sort of wondering, well, how can I open up to allow love in? How can I open up and allow these deeper relationships that I think that I'm missing in my life without disturbing what I've built for myself? So it feels as though you're kind of stuck in a catch-22, right? Where it's like, if I open up, I'm risking my peace. But if I keep my peace close and I remain closed off to people, then I'm not going to have the opportunity to experience this love that I think deep down you want a little bit. So let's get into some tarot and see what other messages we can pull for you. So my Virgos, what got you to this point? We have the Moon and we have the Eight of Swords. So for a lot of my Virgos out there, it feels as though in your prior relationships, in your past interactions with people, there was a lot of muddiness. It was like things were not clear. There was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of shadows. There could have been a fair amount of deception that was happening, and you were stuck because of that. It feels like you wanted to see the best in people. And you may have, don't get mad at me, Virgo, I'm just the messenger. You may have ignored some warning signs, some red flags that came through. With the Eight of Swords, it's really about keeping yourself willfully stuck, not understanding that you can leave, you can move anytime you want to. It's almost like you kept yourself in situations hoping that things would change, hoping that there would be some illumination as to what was going on. And when things finally got illuminated, you were on the receiving end of some bullshit. And it's like, okay, yep, we're not going to do that again. So I think that there's a little bit of an element of self-trust that may have been missing with you for a while. So having gone through all of that, wow, we'll take these. How did that affect your life and relationships? We have the Two of Pentacles, we had the Four of Wands, and we also have Death. And so this is a bit of an interesting energy, because with the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, this is really about having balance, right? Having, being able to juggle things, being able to maintain. And I think that there was always this sense of things will work out. I'm going to get my happily ever after. It's going to be fine. You were always sort of working towards stability. But with death, that's an ending and a beginning. It's a transformation. And so I feel as though these experiences that you've had, especially when it comes to romantic partners, have sort of wiped out this sense of stability, this sense of balance, and this sense of building a foundation with someone else. It's almost like, things just sort of flipped. They reversed. And it was like, you know what, to hell with that. I'm shutting all of it down. And so I don't want to say that it didn't change you for the better. I do think that this process has been one of self-maintenance and getting to the place where you start trusting yourself and start trusting your intuition a little bit more than you have been in the past. But basically, after this chaos, you shut it down. You stopped thinking about relationships. You stopped being in balance, in tune with yourself. Now, what lesson were you meant to get from this experience? We have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Virgos, it's not as bad as you think it is, right? With the 5 of Pentacles, it's, typically about someone feeling a sense of lack, someone feeling without. They don't have that stability. They don't have that abundance that they were looking for. But if you look at the traditional Rider-Waite cards, there's a warm glow that's coming from inside the building that's actually quite welcoming, right? And so I think that if you look, there are wonderful things to be had. There are actually good people still left in this world, whether you believe it or not. And so there's no point in completely closing yourself off. It's just a matter of trusting your intuition and not ignoring red flags when they first come up. And we have the Page of Wands in reverse. So this is also, I think, a little bit of a gentle reminder from the universe, because the Page of Wands is a very immature, sort of naive energy, right? They lead with passion, they lead with energy, and they don't necessarily think about long-term things. It's like they just act purely on emotion, because they don't know any better. And so I feel like Spirit is saying, moving forward, right? Understanding that not everybody out there is out to get you, but be smart about it. This is not the time for you to sort of rush into things blindly. This is you taking your time to evaluate people, take them for what they are. You know that famous saying, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. There's no need for you to give 5, 6, 7, 8, 15 different chances for them to be the person that you hope that they will be. If they're showing you that they're not, child, take the passion out of it. Let things dry up, if you will, and just go on about your business. Now, how you can sort of adjust moving forward, we have the 3 of Wands. This is really about patience. This is about you sort of staying still for a little bit and looking and seeing what's out there. And if something is right, there's no need to force it. There's no need for you to sort of necessarily adjust what you're doing or diminish yourself or anything like that. This is a matter of you letting things that are meant for you come to you, and go at it from an approach of, I'm looking, I'm watching, I'm seeing what's going on. And if it's meant for me, it will come to me in the right way, in the right time. But you don't have to force it. Like, save that fire, save that passion, save that energy for yourself. And we have that clarified also by the Ace of Pentacles. Stability first. This is foundational, right? This 4 of Wands that you sort of let go of, this gateway to abundance. It's time for a fresh start. And it's an opportunity, I think, for you to do things in the right way. So the Ace of Pentacles is really about that foundational stability. So if you don't have that, if you're just operating on wands, fire, emotion, and passion, it's a good chance that it's going to burn out. So you can have that that excitement, that passion, but also make sure that you look for this foundation and stability when it comes to whomever you are dealing with. So, obstacles or challenges that you may face, we have judgment in reverse. So, judgment is really about making this sort of final determination, right? And I think that for a lot of my Virgos, you tend to get caught in analysis paralysis. Like you just keep going back and forth, and I don't know, I can't make up my mind. Maybe they'll do better, maybe they'll be better, maybe they'll turn into the person that I want them to be if I stick it out long enough, if I keep nudging them in the right direction. Virgo, that's a lot of work for an adult to do for another adult. And so I think that one of the challenges that you're going to have is the inclination to try and help people who don't necessarily want to be helped and who don't want to change the way that they're operating. So making a decision and sort of being firm in that and saying, you know what, you've shown me that we're not a good match. Like we can be cool or whatever, but there's not going to be any romance. We're going to keep this superficial. It's fine. But I think that making that decision to not ignore red flags is going to be a little bit challenging because it feels like you just, you want to see the best in people. And there's nothing wrong with that until it starts harming you. And we have that clarified also by the 9 of Wands. This is my wounded warrior card, right? There's still a little bit of exhaustion. There's still a little bit of apprehension, I think, that you have. And so there's a little bit of guarding that's happening. And I'm not saying, Virgos, that you need to completely let your guard down, that you need to demolish every single wall that you've built up, but, a little bit at a time, right? Brick by brick. And so I think that that's going to be another one of the challenges that you have is recovering and getting back to sort of full strength, where you've taken all of the lessons that you've learned about being smart, building that foundation, taking things a little bit slow and putting equal parts head and heart and energy into things. But, it's a work in progress, right? Like this heartbreak, this disappointment didn't happen overnight. The rebuilding is not going to happen overnight either. So what's the potential outcome for you? What's going to happen if you continue moving on this path? We have the Ace of Wands to start. So this is a fresh new beginning, right? This is something that's very exciting for you. It could be a little bit nervous energy as well, but don't think that because you are toning it down a little bit that there's not going to be excitement, right? I think that there's something good waiting for you. I think that there's going to be the opportunity for you to enjoy going out and getting to know people in a different way. I think that there's still a level of excitement. It's just going to show up a little bit differently. It's not going to be as chaotic as it was with other people. And look at this, we have the Lovers. So my Virgos, there is going to be an exciting new start for you. But the difference is that this time you're going to approach it much differently than you were before. You know what peace feels like. You know what you have to do to maintain that while you're allowing yourself the opportunity to get to know people and to invite love into your life. So Virgos, hang in there, keep healing, do things differently, do things smarter this time around. And it looks like a very good outcome for you guys. So that's what I got for you. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.